Welcome to day 12, everyone. Yesterday I spoke about the human body, the experience of wearing a human body, and its influence on our ego. That consciousness of I, that's ego. That consciousness of self, that self-identity in the human experience, that is ego. Now, the root of the ego is in the mind. That's where the I power comes from, the mental space. It's an instrument, an antakarana. It's an inner instrument in the soul, and it comes from the ego. So it has quantum power. It has an amazing, potent power to create, to envision, to actualize, to manifest. The root of the ego is there. The ego can be held in selfishness, or it can be held in unselfishness. So the ego can undergo a transformation. So if you begin to look at all your ego actions, and you were to evaluate or assess whether it's selfish or selfless, you get a good idea of how your ego is. But most of us are so driven and caught in the ego that we don't witness. We cannot even witness our ego to see whether it's selfish or selfless. So sometimes we're driven by selfishness and we're not aware of it. But the goal of life is to become selfless, to share, to be charitable, to be forgiving, to be kind. Sattva, that is the goal. And the tamasic way is to be totally manipulative, abusive, negative. That's a tamasic way, ignorance. And action driven by ignorance, total selfishness. And the only way you can change that is through effort, right? Effort. You have the power of will. It's called Ichha Shakti. You have the power of will. In fact, you have 3 powers in the soul. The power of knowledge, to gather knowledge, to understand things. It's called Jnana Shakti. Shakti is power. You have the power of Ichha, to will something into happening. And you have the power of action, to do something. Kriya Shakti. So you have these 3 Shaktis in the soul. But sometimes, through the guna qualities that I've shared with you, we use these powers in a tamasic way. In fact, we are in a yuga of tamas and rajas. Rajas is ego-driven. So wherever you go around, you're going to find a lot of ignorance and a lot of ego. That's how the field is in the Dwapara Yuga. So when you aspire for sattva to be good, you're going to be challenged by the whole space, right? I hope you know that. You're going to be challenged because in this yuga is an upward swinging yuga. So it's going into Treta. Dwapara Yuga is going to go into Treta. So in Treta Yuga, it's Rajas, which is the ego, and Sattva, which is goodness. So we are going up there. So you'll find groups like these who promote Sattva and sattva qualities. You'll find them in small groups throughout the world. And then you'll find people driven by sattva, but yet fall back. So there are some like that. When they're in a crowd of sattvic people, they're sattva, and when they go to a crowd of tamasic people, they become tamas. So that's why association is very important. Birds like a feather flock together. Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. That's a saying as well. So the goal is to be able to witness your ego. And you can only do that when you make a shift in your consciousness to be able to witness more. The ego has to shift into that witness mode. So do you witness yourself when you are acting? When you're doing something? Do you witness your actions? Do you witness the qualities that the soul's ego get by inhabiting this creature that has lust and greed and being territorial? That this creature, this human creature, has primal instincts. And its brain has three parts to it. It's a triune brain that you have. You have a reptilian brain like inside. If you just like the snakes and the crocodiles, you have a similar kind of brain too, and sometimes we act from that brain. And then you have a limbic brain, emotional brain. Sometimes you act from the reptilian brain and the limbic brain. But what we have been blessed with as human creatures is an upper brain, a frontal brain, neocortex. And that gives us processing power to reflect, to discriminate. You get it because of this upper brain. So if you don't activate the upper brain, how do you expect to not be driven by the reptilian brain and the limbic brain? So which brains are you using? When you meditate, definitely you're up in the upper brain. And when you process, contemplate, that's where you are. So that practice of witnessing, what have I done wrong today? Introspection. How was my day today? How did I fare today? Did I do well? Did I make people smile? Did I give a kind word? Did I forgive? Did I give people another chance? Did I? Or was I tamasic and animalistic and territorial and greedy and lustful all to myself? I remember when I was a little boy, I had that little quality of taking the best things for myself. When I get fruits or I get anything, I want the best for myself. But the moment I hit spirituality, that was about 14 or 15, I saw my greed. And of course, I was forced to change it. Today, I give everybody the best, and I will take what remains. I no longer have that within me. I will never have it, because I have made a complete shift in my consciousness. I want nothing from the world. Nothing pulls me, because everything fades away, everything goes away, everything changes. And you have seen how many changes I have made in this space. All beautiful at every stage, but breaking down and rebuilding. That's to suit the needs of the space. Saying goodbye to the ones that I loved before and completely changing them. So we need that power of introspection, of witnessing, of really observing and processing discrimination to change the ego. And that is the soul consciousness, not the body. Body will take you down into primal consciousness. So you need The inspiration at the soul level, that's what you get from here, from being with me. I inspire you continuously to change your behavior, to change your thinking, to change the way you feel, so that your soul quality will dominate the human quality and not the other way around. But the moment you go out there, and they go where people are lusting after food, and people are just aggressive towards each other and territorial. The moment you go out there, that's what you're going to face. So if you don't have a strong armor of spirituality and spiritual discipline, guess what will happen? You will slowly creep back to the negative ways that are still inside of you. Because we don't make a rapid change when you get Shaktipat and suddenly you have a wonderful spiritual experience. That doesn't mean that you have changed. That's the beginning of change. Change has to be stabilized. I do it all the time. When I go out there, my awareness is more heightened as to the influence of the environment. And I'm stronger in my own consciousness. I build a field around me that protects me. Even if I'm driving, I'm aware of the other lanes, of the other drivers. I stay aware of them. I cannot only stay aware of myself. I have to be all together in the driving space. And so too, if I walk in a mall, if I'm with people in crowds, that's what I do. I hold myself in a field of light. And I stay more aware for intuition from Kundalini. I use my non-local consciousness and I stay aware of the space. And sometimes I pick up spaces that I shouldn't go into. The moment I open up my field to that kind of awareness, I pick up the energies of the space and I know where to go, I know what to do. She protects. But if we don't have that awareness, what happens? We become lost. We become lost. So it's really important to understand where your ego originated from and how the ego can be influenced by your own physical body. If your body doesn't get enough sleep, it influences the ego one way. If it doesn't get enough food, if it's not hydrated, look how you get irritable, fearful. And the moment you hydrate, you nourish the body, you give it a little exercise, circulate the blood, look how it feels. So we should use the ego of the subtle body to drive the physical body. And especially for those of us who are getting older, it needs to be nourished a little more. For those of us who have some challenges, we need to nourish the body and give it attention. The body is resilient. The body can recover. I look for that joy every day because I can feel the tiredness of the body as the hours go. I pay particular attention to the circadian rhythm. And I love it when I can go to bed. And when I wake up in the morning, I can actually feel the difference in the body. What rest can do to the body. And the more I keep the body in a very positive way for sleep, it gives a better sleep. Holding myself in that divine consciousness before I go to bed, the body gets the best sleep. But I must say the 40-day period is more energizing than the rest of the year for me. They're all nice. But when I come into this period, it's incredibly charged. I can feel all the energies, the cosmic energies with me in the 40 days. And it's just so, so beautiful. My heart, oh my God, is so gladdened. I feel such joy during these days. And I hope that you can feel that too. So the ego's journey is a marvelous journey. And the human experience is also a marvelous experience, but you have to mind your body at every level. It's a human animal. There were two books that I absolutely loved. When I was 18, maybe, I picked up these from the bookstore. Iniquity and the Human Zoo. So it's anthropology, right? But I really wanted to understand the human animal because I could feel that I'm in a creature. I wasn't fully aware of it, but these books, they kind of resonated with me, the Human Zoo and the Naked Ape. But today, it's my pet. I'm proud to be able to drive an animal from inside of it. I'm proud, absolutely proud. I love the human body. I love this animal. It is serving me well throughout the human experience. And my joy is to offer it the best ride that I can. I hope that you can differentiate between your soul being and your physical body and take care of it in the best way. This is the best pet and friend you can ever have. You know, we say the dog is the man's best friend, right? But this pet? It sleeps with you, it wakes up with you, and it's throughout your entire day. It should be your best friend in the journey. Have a blessed Sunday, everyone. Always a joy to share this space with you. May the grace of the 40 days be with you. Namaskar, everyone.